Hey guys, how's it going? This is part 2 of our unboxing series where we start to go piece by piece from the figures that we opened in the brick. What we like to judge these figures on is their playability in the competitive play, playability in sealed play, as well as playability in casual play. I will try to go over each of those, whether or not they're good, bad, whatever in each of those formats. Everything is good in casual play because casual play is usually about sitting at the kitchen table across from your buddy and saying, I threw together a Earth X team, and he threw together a Kingdom Come team, and we're going to see who's stronger. And that's generally how these things kind of go. So that's what the casual game looks like. Sealed play, obviously open to packs and go, and competitive play is where things get a little bit more intense and we start to look at the finer details of figures, which is why some figures might not highlight themselves in that. But anyway, that said, we're gonna go take a look at these guys and see where they fit into the grand scale of the game of Heroclix. Once again, I want to take a second to thank the guys over at WizKids Games for providing us with this product nice and early, so you guys get a better idea of what you're looking forward to as we enter the pre-release portion of our preview season.
All right, away we go, starting with figure number 001. This is Spider-Girl. New Warrior, Spider-Man, Family, Young Avengers, ignores elevated and hindering for movement. And it is a what you see is what you get dial. What we mean is, where the powers are, what you find out in the pack. She's got Spider-Man team ability, so she's got a wild card. She's 50 points with 5 range, 2 targets. And she's got close combat expert across the dial with some good evasion on the top there. Honestly, I figure this is going to be a sealed or part of your casual play figures for sure. It's not going to really make a lot of splashes in competitive play, but a really interesting little version of Spider-Girl to work off of for you. All right, next up, figure number 002, Silver Sable's got the Wild Pack and Soldier keywords. I work better with a team is her trait. During force construction, choose a name keyword. Silver Sable gains that keyword. So she's basically part of a theme, any theme team. Adds leadership, 50 points, and is the Spider-Man ally as well, which gives her the wild card. There's something to be said for a character who can just be added to any theme team to fill it out, especially when you're missing power like leadership. So she may find herself on a few teams where you really need to kind of fill out that theme team bracket and add the extra leadership if you need it. And she's very protectable. Throw her on a team that needs some bystanders. That has leadership. Yeah, long story short, Silver Sable may have a small quiet place in competitive play. All right, next up, figure number 3, the Lizard. Sinister Syndicate, Animal, Monster, and Scientist keywords. Sinister 6 United is a trait. This one you're going to see a couple times over in the set. It's got Stealth, but only if your force has 3 or more characters. Ignores Hindering for movement, but only if your force has 5 or more characters. Modify all combat values by +1, but only if your force has exactly 6 characters. It's got another trait, Cellular Regeneration, free if Lizard is on an even click number and has no action tokens, heal him 1 click. Sealed, pretty good. Especially if you can pull a couple other Sinister 6 guys to kind of bump up those numbers. Also Sinister 6 guys, or Sinister Syndicate guys that might have better attacks than him. He is indomitable for 50-point common, so very sealed strong, very good on casual Sinister Syndicate teams. Could place, if something happens to Animal or Monster that when we're not looking, could fit on those as well. So not a bad figure at all. All right, next up. Figure number 4, Morbius. Lizard will fall under definite sealed play, I think I said. All right, Legion of Monsters, Midnight Suns, Monster, and Scientist keywords. Vampiric Hunger is his trait. He starts on click 3. He has Steel Energy. When he uses it, he may heal past the starting line. So he can only heal past the last starting line using Steel Energy. And he's got special movement power on charge with Charge, Sidestep, and Stealth, which he gets when he moves past the starting line. He has 60 points with the Spider-Man team ability. Honestly, Morbius is cooler looking than he is. He's sealed strong for sure, and probably not going to see competitive, but a good addition of more version of Morbius that fits onto smaller point Legion of Monsters teams. Because I always wanted to put Morbius on that team, but I never really had a place for him. So I think that's where he really shines, as it were. All right, next up. Figure number 5, Rhino. Sinister Syndicate Animal Brute. Ignores blocking and breaks through it when moving. He's Sinister 6 United, much like Lizard was, and you're going to see that a couple more times. He is traded with Knockback, and he just knocks people around. 50 points, very solid bruiser type dial. 3 damage across the board. He gets some Quake in there. He starts with Invincible for 50 points. He's more work than he should be, and that makes him pretty tough. Sealed strong and casual play for sure as part of those Sinister 6 teams. All right. Next up, Sandman. Avengers, Sinister Syndicate, and Wild Pack keywords. Sinister 6 United trait. His trait as well, Shifting Sands. If Sandman has no action tokens, choose a standard power printed on this card that he can't use already. He can use that power until your next turn. And so that's kind of he's a flexible dude that adds a lot of utility to what he is. He's indomitable, which makes him really good in the 50-point mark. And he's wild card as well, so he still fits in your Sinister 6 teams as just a very solid dude. So Sandman, I'd throw him on sealed or casual play for sure. All right, next up, the Tinkerer. Massive Evil, Sinister Syndicate, and Scientist keywords. Phineas Mason, real name. Sorry, I don't know why I mentioned that anymore. Special damage power. All these wonderful toys. Empower enhancement. Power is the other part of that power. Generate a standard light or heavy object. This is a very supporty character for 30 points, but there are teams he can work with for sure. And they may not be theme teams necessarily, but he does kind of stand out as a solid member of your team if you need objects when you need them, and to add extra damage with Empower or Enhancement when you need that as well. The fact that he can kind of position himself safely with Willpower is promising as well, and some late dial Perplex to make him a little bit more flexible. That's assuming he lives through whatever you hit him with. All right, next up, Venturion, Magia, Master of Evil, Sinister Syndicate keywords. So what you see is what you get dialed. 20 points. Honestly, this guy's purely a taxi with some incapacitate. That's his place. So if any of the keywords that he's got here find their way into competitive play, he's a good taxi for them. Otherwise, in sealed play, consider him for carrying your dudes. It's where this Earth X set became Earth X / Spider-Man. Good timing, though. A lot of good Spider-Man stuff around the corner. All right. Next up, Police Sergeant. This is an Earth X police officer with the police and Earth X keyword. Detain and Restrain is a special damage power with Empower and adjacent opposing characters at breakaway -1. And it's a little bit more of a beefy version of a support cop, but also a very cool version when you consider he's got Empower and Incapacitate to back him up with a 4 range as well. And look at that, Charge with Flurry in the mid, like sealed. I would use this guy for sure. Maybe includable in some really cool police or Earth X teams for casual play. For competitive, there's a team that can use him, I'm sure. All right. Next up, and I'm going to say these words a lot, the Hydra. Earth X and Hydra are the keywords. Share through the Hive Mind is a trait. Unique modifier. Friendly characters within the 6 squares with the Hydra keyword. Modify attack +1 when making a close attack. And this one is a little bit more close combat focused at 20 points with sidestep, super strength, willpower, and exploit weakness with some late dial plasticity, willpower, and close combat expert. 20 points. Good sealed finisher on your 300 points. He just kind of fits in casual play. There's going to be somebody using the Hydra team for sure. Hey, you know what? Maybe somebody with Hydra comes out and you want them to be really good with these guys. Another the Hydra, share through the Hive Mind, Earth X, and Hydra keywords. A lot of the same on the trait, but this one's a little bit more incapacitate focused with some late dial range focus. With range combat experts. So 25 points gets you a little bit more range. So for 5 extra points on that last Hydra. A lot of the same for the last figure I just talked about. All right, next up. Red Union Jack. Earth X, Excalibur, and Soldier keyword. Stiff upper lip. When Red Union Jack is damaged by an opponent's attack after resolutions, remove an action token from him. Dragonfire Incendiary Grenade Launcher is his special attack power. Energy Explosion. When Red Union Jack uses it, damage dealt to each target is increased by 1, which comes with some running shots, some reasonable attack value, some late dial perplex for 30 points. Sealed, include him for sure. He'll add to some of the damage that you're doing, and you know, if he does live through that first attack, he's got some perplex to add to your team in the late dial. Yeah, I'd put him on sealed. There's a Excalibur casual team begging for this guy. All right, next up we got the Spiders Man. Earth X animal and monster keywords. Webs of Illusion is a special attack power. When Spider-Man hits with a range attack after resolutions, give each hit target an illusion token. Characters with illusion tokens can't be given free actions. Beginning your turn, remove an illusion token. Because everything's predicated on him hitting and he's got these stats on a 30-point dial, I feel like this is the guy you include in sealed, push him, all of a sudden you have perplex with that extra power as well. But I think the perplex is the stronger point on him, and this is if you don't have a better perplexer in your sealed pool. So that's kind of where you include him. Casual play for sure. Competitive play not really going to be seen. Right. Next up, the Black Panther. Earth X Wakanda animal ruler keyword. Traded with blades, claws, fangs, and stealth. Ignores elevated and hindering for movement. He's got a special defense power that gives him combat reflexes, super senses, and willpower. He's got a special damage power that gives him leadership and outwit. When he uses leadership and the result is a 6, you may instead remove all action tokens from the chosen character and modify its attack by +1 on a 90-point dial. This is what we like to call the sealed bomb common, where this is a really good common figure that is definitely deserving of consideration in your sealed pool, because sealed, you get more commons than anything, and it's always good to see something that's super strong in that slot in order to capitalize on. So sealed consideration, unless you get some kind of a bomb in the high rarity, for sure. All right, next up, the one Amber lovingly calls Spider Dad. Spider-Man, Earth X. And what does this say? Peter Parker, Spider-Man is his shirt. Everyone has power, so my only responsibility is to my daughter. This one comes with Leap Climb. When Spider-Man moves after resolutions, you may choose a friendly character opposing a square adjacent to one he moved through. If you do, place that character adjacent, and it can't be given a cost of action. So this is kind of a late carry, as it were. And he starts with some support and goes to Perplex in the late dial with PD and Wildcard to go with that. So the idea is, and I'm glad that we do a map on this. Let's say I have Black Panther here, and I have the Spider-Man here, and I leap climb with him, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4. After my action, I can actually place the Black Panther here, and he can't take a costed action, which is very similar in ways to a carry. But it's a carry that you can kind of bluff or is a little bit more flexible. You don't need Spider-Man hugging the dude, and I think that makes him have some potential. But I don't think he's going to be a bomb necessarily. He's going to be an include in some competitive play. Casual play, he's going to be a ton of fun. And sealed play, he's going to be awesome as well. All right, next up. Karnak, Earth X Inhumans and Martial Artist. Terrigenesis twice is his first trait, which you'll see on other Inhumans. When a friendly character targets Karnak with a perplex after resolutions, roll d6. If the result is less than Karnak's click number, modify the chosen value an additional 1. And then everybody has weaknesses, special attack power, precision strike. When Karnak makes an attack, if his target's defense value is modified higher than his printed value, use his printed defense value instead. He's super supporty, super awesome with that on the first 2 clicks with charge and some super senses. He's indomitable for 50 points. Karnak is good. He's really good, as a matter of fact. And you know, he negates perplex up defenses, combat reflexes, all those kinds of things. He comes in with some reasonable values, and he adds perplex, some late in the game probability control. Just overall, I like him a lot for sealed play. I like him for casual play for sure. I'm not sure where he fits in sealed or in competitive just yet. All right, Jackal. It's a Jackal. Sinister Syndicate, Monster, and Scientist keywords. Your body can be new again for a time. Free. Choose an adjacent standard friendly character of 75 points or less. Heal the chosen character 1, 2, or 3 clicks and give them that many degeneration tokens. Friendly characters with degeneration tokens can't be replaced, and when they take damage after resolutions, remove their degeneration tokens and deal them that much unavoidable damage. And he's got special damage power, outwit, shape change. When Jackal uses outwit, he can target characters with the Spider-Man family keyword regardless of line of fire. So he's really, this is a sealed awesome character. And one of the things to note about that heal is that it's kind of like taking a loan on your first click. So let's, as an example, say I have Spider-Man here, and Spider-Man took 3 damage, and he's now on his last click here. All right, so Spider-Man's now on click 4. All right, and he's next to Jackal. Jackal says, I'm going to use my ability for 3 clicks. So I heal Spider-Man, 3 clicks back to start. Okay, sorry for that, bringing it up, but we're kind of visualizing here. So what'll now happen is that if Spider-Man takes any damage, the best way to think about it is he's might as well, because he's going to take the 3 damage the second he takes damage, and then he's going to take and then he's going to take the 1. And it's actually after resolution. So let's say I deal him 1 damage with a pushing with an attack or damage or whatever. So he takes the 1, and then after resolutions I take the 3. It might as well have been on the last click anyway, but you're getting better stats on it. So that's the best way to think about it. It's not a heal. You're just, you're regaining a click you'd prefer to be on. And that's what makes him really good. And in sealed, his outwit and the ability to target the Spider-Man family makes him super potent as a sealed character, because there's a lot of Spider-Man families. It's a good way to enter the uncommon slot too. I just realized we got into that. All right. Next up, Ezekiel Sims. Spider-Man family and mystical, ignores elevated and hindering for movement, and then he's got trait protector of the spider totem, barrier. Barrier is free, but only to place 1 marker adjacent to a friendly character with the Spider-Man family keyword. So, free barrier is never bad. Barriers traded is always good. Probability control is also good. Just generally good. He's a good inclusion on your Spider-Man family team. He's a good, solid include on a lot of just SEAL teams. And if the Spider-Man family team picks up in competitive play later down the road, I feel like this guy will be an important part of that. Okay, so we didn't get the non-prime, but we did get the prime version of Vulture. This one's got magia and brute keywords, ignores characters for movement. You'll note it's not your traditional Adrian Toomes Vulture. So it functions a little differently. So, time to make my getaway. Sorry, I'm trying to focus here. Is the trait when Vulture KOs a character after resolutions, he can use charge at no cost. He's got special movement power. Let's see what this suit can do. Excuse me. Charge, sidestep. When Vulture uses sidestep, you may roll a d6. On a 4 to 6, he can use sidestep a second time this turn. Now, as you see, it's a little bit more brutish with that super strength up in the front. So you imagine, if you will, being able to charge, with super strength, do 5 damage, KO the guy, then charge again, KO that guy possibly if you pick up another object, or he just happens to be a low enough dial, and then charge again. Like that, there's a lot of possibility on this one. There's no wonder a guy like this is prime. If he was not prime or not unique in some way, shape, or form, imagine what a sea of this guy could be doing to the game, along with a tinkerer. All right, next up, Crime Master. Enforces the magic keyword. New York crime boss trait. You're going to see this a couple times too. Leadership, mastermind. When Crime Master uses leadership and succeeds, instead of removing an action token, you may generate 2 hired flunky bystanders. They're down here with stealth and exploit weakness with the new underworld team ability with the brass knucks. And he also, when he starts the game, he gains the keywords of all friendly characters with the brass knucks, so that he can actually use the brass knucks team ability. Next up, the secret of the Green Goblin is mine. Shape change. When Crime Master is KO'd, choose another friendly character. That character can use shape change this game, and he's got sidestep and stealth as a special movement power. It's 50 points, and he's got, he's a supporty dude. This is a sealed include for sure. If you can pull off something like, I think this hired flunky team could be a thing. It just as a flood team where you just can't get through the numbers that they're creating with some lucky leadership roles. I feel like there could be something to guys like Crime Master, or New York crime bosses in general. All right, next up, Figure number 21, Fancy Dan. Enforcer and Magia keywords and martial artist. New boss every week. You're going to see this on a couple other figures too. Beginning of the game, choose a friendly character that can use blind leadership or mastermind and a keyword that character has. Fancy Dan gains that keyword. This does not affect theme teams. You two mooks, listen up. Ranged combat expert. Power. Choose 2 for other friendly characters within range with the Enforcer's keyword. This turn, those characters have free make and attack. That's actually pretty interesting. 2 other friendly characters with Enforcers. So it matters on what Enforcers you get. But you can really get some work out of those because you get a power action for 2 free attacks. Yeah. Cool. I like this. Yeah. So Fancy Dan, if Enforcers can end up being a thing, definitely has a play. He makes their casual team super strong. He's an include for sealed if you happen to get enough Enforcers to make him work. And I like him. He's Fancy Man, Fancy Dan. I like him. 30 points, not a bad investment. All right, next up, Montana. Montana has the Enforcers and Magic keyword. New boss every week trait. Rope tricks. Unique modifier. When Montana hits after resolutions, a hit opposing character modifies its combat value by -1 till your next turn. And he has that across all 4 of his 3-point clicks. He's not bad. He's got that Underworld team ability. He is an Enforcer, so you could be getting a free attack out of him from Fancy Dan. Though his attack isn't fantastic as stats, it could be increased, I'm sure, in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, not bad. Not super competitive, but sealed if you can get that Enforcers thing working, or casual play. All right, Electro. Another one of the Sinister Syndicates with the Sinister 6 trait. Let's do this as a special attack power. Energy Explosion. When Electro uses it, she deals penetrating damage. Penetrating Energy Explosion. That's it's always potentially a lot of awesome coming out of that. For 50 points with Running Shot, I mean, if there's formations out there, she's going to be breaking them. So I call this a not now, but soon, maybe later sort of thing, but definitely strong and sealed for some of those teams that got big numbers as a result. Her range is really good too. Just generally, I like this figure a lot. All right, next up, figure who's close to my heart. Luke Cage. This is the Earth X version of Luke Cage, who's Heroes for Hire and Police. Fists and Cuffs. Which is a special move power, which gives him charge and plasticity. Release My People Now is a special attack power, which gives him Quake, and when he uses it and targets at least 2 characters, you may choose to either modify his attack by +2 or increase damage dealt to all targets by 1. So you could be doing large 3 damage Quakes or +2 attack Quakes. Choice is yours. Or it could be 5 damage single target Quakes. Goodness me. Leadership is his Sergeant Cage of the NYPD. Leadership. When Luke Cage uses it and succeeds, you may also remove an action token from all other friendly characters within 3 squares with the police keyword. If the result was 6, also remove an action token from Luke Cage. That's pretty cool leadership, and it is also just leadership. So, an Indomitable Luke Cage is always good with Invincible PD team ability. I like him for sealed. I like him for casual. I don't like him for competitive, but I don't think I'm ever going to get that Luke Cage, and that's cool. I mean, he's not a character that really works to that kind of thing. All right, next up, Hydra Falcon. We have Avengers, Earth X, and Hydra keywords. These share through the Hive Mind trait, rather. Special attack power, join the collective. Precision strike. When the Hydra hits, after resolutions, give an action token to a hit character that can't use willpower. Yeah. And then special damage power. People want to be part of something. Passenger 4, but only to carry characters with the Hydra keyword. So this is one of those developing, I'm going to use Hydra dudes, casual teams, or I got enough Hydra dudes to justify this sealed play for sure. But he only has a carry, on his first click, and his join the collective is his last 3 clicks. So the timing is a little kind of questionable on this dude, but he does fly, charge with blade, with precision strike, which turns into flurry with the special attack power later on. Not a bad figure for sealed. Casual play for those Hydra teams, and just generally fun dude overall. All right, next up, Sharon Carter Hydra, or Hydra Sharon Carter. Share through the Hive Mind, ignores characters for line of fire. Join the collective as a special attack power precision strike when the Hydra hits. After resolutions, give an action token to a hit character that can't use willpower. And then special damage power, adjacent opposing characters can't be healed. Not bad. But again, much like the Falcon, neat if you got some things going on for you in sealed. Casual Hydras for sure. Not sure about competitive play on that matter. All right, next up. Blue Union Jack, stiff upper lip when he's damaged by opposing character. So it's the same as the other one. Then he's got a special damage power. Come on, lads, for king and country. Enhancement and leadership. When Blue Union Jack uses leadership and succeeds, friendly characters modify attack by +1 until your next turn. I like him. Yeah, two clicks of that leadership with 50 points. I just overall kind of enjoy this character. Good for sealed, good for casual. Not going to break the game, but overall, not bad. Not bad at all. Right. Next up, President Osborn. You are my bodyguard, and I pay cash. Earth X Enforcers, Hydra, Sinister Syndicate, and Politician keywords. So this one here, you are my bodyguard, and I pay cash. At the beginning of the game, choose another friendly character that is 75 points or less, has a Sinister Syndicate keyword to become President Osborn's, or has a Sinister Syndicate keyword, to become President Osborn's bodyguard. If President Osborn's bodyguard is within 4 squares, they have free, choose 2 different combat values and modify both by +1 until your next turn. So it's kind of a double perplex, or perplex up 2 stats on a character of your choice for the game within 4 squares of President Osborn. He's also a New York crime boss, which means he's making flunkies. And then it's a what you see is what you get dial. That happens to be 50 points. And of course, this all comes with leadership and mastermind the entire time. And the ability to make one dude really good. This is going to make a dude on your SEAL team better as long as he's within range of him. The fact that he's got a little evasive with the shape change, and that like dial perplex could come in handy in some games. So neato dude overall. And I think he's good if you pulled something really worth that trait. Right. Next up, the Skull. Earth X is his keyword. If he can see you, he can control you. Mind control. When the Skull uses it as a range action, he may target one character regardless of range. Still requires line of fire, but can't target other characters. So you can do it to one dude. Don't raise your hand against me. Stop. Mastermind. When the Skull uses Mastermind, he may choose a friendly character regardless of point values. And then it's a very short dial that is just tick, 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 tick. Kind of hard to kill, 40 points. Starts with leadership, which is okay. Really good. Include and sealed. More work than he is worth. And he's going to be mind controlling you. Oddly enough, he's got 0 range with triple target, but because of the mind control, that means he can triple target mind control at like 4 squares away. All right, next up. Black Knight, Earth X, Excalibur, Inhumans, and Ruler keywords. Stiff upper lip trait, Terragenesis twice trait. So he's a he's a Union Jack and an Inhuman from the Earth X world. A special attack power, his father's legacy. Pulse Wave. When Black Knight uses it, he can use Ignore Blocking. After resolutions, destroy all blocking terrain within that use of Pulse Wave's range. So this is an interesting choice because of the new way that Ignore Blocking, Destroy It works with line of fire. They had to specifically word it this way. Special damage power, Scion and Apprentice of Knights. Leadership, when Black Knight uses it and succeeds, he has protected outwit into your next turn. That's pretty good. This is a pretty strong uncommon. We like to see these for sealed and uncommon for sure. 100 points with Indomitable. This is probably a starting point for some team. And the fact that it loses action tokens from taking damage with a stiff upper lip, or if you got perplex and you're perplexing stats up and he's somewhere in the middle dial, there's a good chance you could be getting +2 on those stats. So yeah, I like him in the uncommon slot for sure. All right, next up, my Namor's on fire. Namor, Atlantis, Earth X, and Ruler keyword. First trait, still the most dangerous thing in the ocean. Modify Namor's defense by +2 if he occupies water terrain. He ignores characters for movement, by the way. Cursed to burn forever. Poison, but only if Namor does not occupy water terrain. Nice. So 2 really good traits. Special movement power, charge and flurry. And so you only get the special movement power at 130 points. And then in the later dials, you're paying 80 points for the 2 traits, and what you see is what you get dial. I honestly feel like the top 3 clicks might even be worth it for the charge and the flurry. The ignore characters, he's indomitable, and he comes with poison. He wants to be next to guys because he's making close combat attacks anyway. Overall, I give him a thumbs up for sealed. Not quite there for the world of constructed play. For constructed competitive play, but casual play, he's going to be a nightmare against some teams for sure. All right. Next up, we have a double whammy here. We have the rare Spider-Man Avengers Spider-Man Family Reporter and Scientist keyword. Ignores elevated, hindering, and characters for movement. Signature equipment web shooters. Right there. Where he starts with that. He's got this other trait, Protect My Family. If no other friendly character has activated this trait this turn, choose an opposing character that attacked a friendly character with the Spider-Man Family keyword since your last turn. Play Spider-Man such that he can make a close attack targeting the chosen character, then do so. The Spider-Man Family has their own colossal retaliation. That's amazing. A special movement power running shot. Whenever Spider-Man makes an attack or is attacked after resolutions, you may move him 1 square. And then he's indomitable. He's 90 points. He starts with prop. This is for lack of a better word, an amazing Spider-Man. I gotta say that. He's 90 points for what you get, and what you get is really good. And he's really hard to keep down. He's also got the web shooters, which give him incapacitate with a maximum range value of 4. When this character uses it and hits, instead of giving an action token, you may have hit targets gain immobile until your next turn, so they can't move or do much. They still take 1 penetrating damage if they had 2 action tokens. So you can, if they have 2 action tokens, you can make them immobile, which, if they have sidestep, becomes a thing, and also deal them a damage. There's a Spider-Man Family team brewing somewhere that I think this guy is on. I feel like this is more effective early on when you consider Superior Foes of Spider-Man and what that set contains. I don't know. I'm 60-40 on this guy for competitive play. Casual play, he's a butt ton of fun. Sealed play is almost auto include. All right, next up, Stegron. Battle World, Spider Island, Shield, Savage Land, Sinister Syndicate, Animal, and Scientist keywords. Oh man, Animal breaks it. You almost had a thing going because Stegron in the comics, he stalks with this S. I mean, you even do it there. So the world will rest of the world kind of thing. Anyway, Retro Generation Ray. The bystanders printed on this card are dinosaurs. T-Rex, Stegosaurus, Brontosaurus. I love it. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, they're all giant, colossal. I love it. Oh my god. At the beginning of the game, generate one of each dinosaur. Oh man. Oh, is this Devil Dinosaur Light? I'm in love. Power. Generate a dinosaur that's not already in. So if you kill one, he can still bring out a new one. He's got a special power Stampede, double power. This turn, Stegron and his dinosaur bystanders have free move, then make an attack. Oh my gosh. I love this dude for everything. Oh, Stegron, you're my new love. I'm sorry. I got caught in the moment. Yeah, Stegron, a little bit of everything everywhere. I need to make dinosaur tokens now. All right, next up. Mr. Negative. He's Magia, politician. He's got the New York crime boss trait. Special movement power, light and dark, free. Choose sidestep or stealth. To your next turn, Mr. Negative can use the chosen power. Defense power is resilient, toughness, but he can't be knocked back. Special damage power, enhancing spirit blades and spirits. Empower, exploit weakness, and support. Interesting. 65 points. He's black and white. Wow. Thanks, guys. You did that to me. So he's got a special damage power on his last 4 clicks. Still fine. He's got steal energy on those as well. He has for the first 3 clicks that stealth sidestep swap, and his defense power being toughness for the first 4 clicks. I mean, he's not breaking the world in competitive play. He's really good sealed figure. In casual play, there's Mr. Negative all of a sudden came out of nowhere, and everybody's in love with this dude who's making Spider-Man related stuff. Like, he was in the new game apparently, from what I hear. So yeah, in general, Mr. Negative, pretty cool character. All right, so we have Montana again. Earth X enforces Magia and Politician, new boss every week trait. Random Cowboy is his other trait. When an opposing character moves through a square adjacent to Montana after resolutions, you may place Montana adjacent to that character. So if somebody hypersonics past him, so let's say, as an example, I have Montana here. Let's get a good focus on it. And my Namor goes, Namor's a bad example because he ignores characters. But let's say somehow my Stegron got hypersonic. And he goes, rip, 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 goes attacks this guy, rip, 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 ends here. Montana's going to be here. And I think that's really strong and sealed. Okay, sorry, I paused for a second there. So that's his trait. And then his special attack power. Trussed up like a turkey on Thanksgiving. Incapacitate. When Montana uses it and hits after resolutions, you may choose one. Place a hit character adjacent to Montana, or a hit character gains immobile until your next turn. So bring him here to possibly a kill box, or just make somebody stay there. This is going to be one of those dudes who's better in sealed than anywhere else. Casual play as well, but not necessarily making steam in competitive. All right. Next up, Clea. The Orb of Agamotto trait. When she attacks opposing characters, can't use shape change. I love her already. And she ignores hindering for line of fire. She's Earth X and mystical. For love and knowledge. When a friendly character named Loki is within 4 squares and line of fire, both characters can use precision strike and deal 2 penetrating damage instead of 1 when using the Mystics team ability. She's got special defense, which gives her defend on her last 3 clicks. If a friendly character is hit while replacing its defense value with Clea's, damage dealt by that attack, it becomes unavoidable, and after resolutions, heal Clea equal to half the amount of damage. Sorry, dude, you took some damage. I'm going to get a little better for it, though, and then move back into my more offensive things. This is a sealed bomb. I feel like there's a late in the game competitive team that can use this. She's going to be really strong in casual play for sure. Like, this is one of those characters who's really strong, and I really want to be competitive. And I'm going to give her a try on a couple ideas, but I don't think she has everything we need for that. All right, next up. Man, Wolf, Earth X, Animal, and Monster keywords. Kind of looks like a Krang at a distance, right? I like how it kind of has a steamy effect to the astronaut helmet. Blue area of the moon is his trait. Sidestep and knockback damage dealt to Man-Wolf is reduced to 0. Special attack power nullify from existence. Power, deal 3 penetrating damage to opposing character within 5 squares in line of fire. Then KO Man-Wolf if that character is a giant or colossal. Deal 5 penetrating instead. He has on his last click. He's an okay dude. I don't think he's not breaking any format in any way, shape, or form for sure. But it would be nice to see that last click go off on a gigantic colossal. All right, and we're getting into the end there. We're hitting it. So right now we have the Green Goblin and his Goblin Glider. Green Goblin is a Dark Avenger, Sinister Syndicate, Thunderbolts, and Politician keyword. Like I said, he comes with the Goblin Glider, and he starts with it. Genius or Madness is his other trait. If Green Goblin's dial displays Outwit, friendly characters with Sinister Syndicate keyword have protected Outwit. If his dial displays Perplex, friendly characters with the Sinister Syndicate keyword have protected Perplex. He wouldn't be able to perplex himself. That's an unfortunate, and I'll explain that. Why I think that's unfortunate. He also has a late dial stop click, which gives him stop regeneration. Special damage power impaled by the remote control glider. Free KO a Goblin Glider equipped to Green Goblin. If you do, modify attack by +3 and make a range attack targeting a single opposing character that deals 3 penetrating damage instead of normal damage. If he misses, KO Green Goblin. And this is okay. So you see the 75 or 50. The big danger, of course, is that Sinister Syndicate negative. But it is specific to Sinister Syndicate. So if you're playing him on Dark Avengers, Thunderbolts, or Politician team, he stands as actually significantly better. He stands better if Perplex shows up. But if Outwit shows up and your entire team's your syndicated guys are protected out with, he looks a lot better that way too. So this is a hard character to judge because there's so much going on. I mean, the key point there is the Goblin Glider, which he comes with. He gives flight, running shot, and if the character is named Green Goblin or can already use running shot, this character can use hypersonic speed. So, Green Goblin suddenly gets running shot and hypersonic from that, and he doesn't already have running shot, as you can see. Or you can also use hypersonic. It depends on the range you need. Like if you can suffer with the 3 range and get into safety, perfect. If you can't really suffer it, maybe the like a couple movement, keep it at 6 so that you're out of danger could go a little easier. He's a sealed bomb for sure. The Goblin Glider is going to be played separate of the Green Goblin because it's only 8 points and it is really super awesome. And there's think of every character you think of that says, man, I really wish they had running shot on the start. You know what I mean? Or who was another one I pulled up earlier? It was, darn, I wish he had running shot instead of charge. Like these guys are going to seem awesome with that Goblin Glider. And that's not even taking into consideration guys who are going to be great in competitive play with it. So just a general rule is I think the Goblin Glider in competitive play is going to make more of a splash than the Green Goblin. Green Goblin is still a sealed bomb and is worth playing with the Goblin Glider itself. And in casual play, nothing feels better than having the Green Goblin on your team and possibly getting that last shot of crazy in there because that's going to feel good. That's going to feel awesome if you pull that off. All right, next up, the talk of the town, the man on the bike. The Daredevil. This is the Earth X Daredevil. Earth X celebrity and mystical keywords ignores elevated and hindering for movement. All right, there's a lot to take in here. So there's 2 major traits. The first one, can you kill the Daredevil? When placing characters during game setup, choose a starting line for Daredevil and give him 3 6 tokens. Notice you're using the word 6. So there's 3 tokens that he has. When Daredevil is attacked, after resolutions, remove a 6 token for each 6 in the attack roll. And note, he's going to be taking damage normally as well. If Daredevil has a 6 token when he would be KO'd, instead choose a starting line different from the one you most recently chose and turn him to that click. So basically the one you're on is what you consider. So if I started here, I die, I go here. If I die again, I can go back to here, and so on and so forth, as long as it's not the one I just started at. Yeah, and that is protected pulse wave because you don't want to be pulse waving over this, unfortunately. His other one, I hear that teaming up with you may be fatal. I'm game. Daredevil can't be chosen for Mastermind. Whew, thank goodness. Attacks made by Daredevil or by characters targeting him can't be re-rolled if the attack roll contains a 6. So if you have a 6 when you're attacking my Daredevil, I can't re-roll it. If I have a 6 when I'm attacking with my Daredevil, can't be re-rolled. This guy is so hard to kill, such a pain in the butt. As a general rule, I feel like this guy is definitely up for consideration for all formats, of course. Sealed, play him. Casual, why not? Competitive, I mean, there's already enough figures that just don't die. He's just going to add to the collection of them, right? Whew, almost there. 2 more to go. All right, next up, Gorgon. Earth X, Inhumans and Animal keyword, ignores hindering and blocking and breaks through the blocking for movement purposes. Terragenesis twice trait, butting heads is a second trait. Modify defense +2 when attacked by a character using charge or hypersonic. He's got a special movement power. Charge, when Gorgon uses it, you may choose not to half his speed value. If you do, he can only move in a direct path. And he's got a special attack power, gives him Quake. When Gorgon uses it and hits more than one character, choose a hit character and roll d6. Increase the damage dealt to that character by half the result. So you're still getting your Quake, but then somebody's getting a little bit of extra damage. Now he has all of that on the first 3 clicks, which means he has it for the first click of his 75-point dial, and he has it for all 3 of the first clicks on his 25-point dial. There is uses in this guy. The fact that his Quake does what it does makes him way too cool. And I think there's something to be said. There's a team, including the Gorgon, in competitive play somewhere, and somebody's brainchilding it, and it's going to be bonkers, and I'm going to be in love with that person. And in sealed, he's going to do really well. And in casual, he's really going to stand out as well. All right. But bring it all up. The piece de resist, the C resistance, the without resist, whatever. Dude, the Ultra Chase. Captain Marvel. There's so much going on with this figure. He's very beautiful. 7 range, power cosmic, 100 points, flies, normal standard power, things outside of that. Avengers, Earth X, Kree, cosmic keywords. Ignores elevated, hindering, and blocking, and breaks through it, but only breaks through one piece of blocking when you're drawing line of fire. I need 3 years to fully return once per game when Captain Marvel would be KO'd. Instead, give him 3 resurrection tokens and place him on this card. At the beginning of your turn, if Captain Marvel is on this card, remove a resurrection token. When the last one is removed, place Captain Marvel in any square along the edge of the map on click 3. Protect Pulse Wave. So if you kill him, he's coming. You got 3. You're on a 3-turn counter. Otherwise, he's coming back. And he's coming back to save everyone, is the second trait. When Captain Marvel is placed on the map by use of I need 3 years to fully return, all standard characters that were on a starting force that have been KO'd this game are placed on the map on their starting click this game and given a spirit token. Friendly characters are placed along the same edge of the map Captain Marvel is on, and opposing characters on the opposite edge. Until your next turn, characters placed this way can't attack or be attacked. This game, characters with spirit tokens can't be replaced, can't generate bystanders, and aren't scored. This game, when a character with a spirit token takes damage, remove it from the game immediately. And then it is this dial for 100 points. So what you see is what you get. So he's got prop across the board. He starts with Pulse Wave, goes to Psychic Blast. He doesn't have much in the way of damage reduction. So that is one of the key sticking points I want to talk about when we're talking about this guy, is that like once per like he's going to bring all your opponent stuff back. He doesn't really reduce damage. He needs a lot of help to be great. In sealed, he will bomb some dudes right off of the map. That full dial prop is something. I do feel like I want him to be competitive, and I feel like instinctively I want to say some form of don't die tech or some form of everything dies techs. I'm not 100% sure, to be brutally honest. It's a hard decision to say. Casual play, he's going to be so much fun, especially bigger point games or multiplayer games where everybody gets a little bit of everything back, because those really big games last forever. And if Captain Marvel's one of the first guys to go down and other bodies are going down in the next 3 turns, oh my gosh, is something coming. And if you give this guy the Goblin, like you give this dude the Goblin Glider and giving him running shot, whoo, baby, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. So I feel like he's on the edge of competitively great or competitively includable. He's definitely sealed play for sure, and casual. They always make these ultra chases super awesome for the casual player. All right, let's wrap this up. It's been a great ride so far.
All right, so that was Earth X. In a nutshell, it's much like every other set. There's a couple things that really stand out as super potent. Some things that have a place in the competitive game and could even see one in the future. There's a lot of really good sealed bombs in there. There's some sneaker hits in here, sleeper hits in here, and I think there's a couple figures that will catch people off guard with how effective they could be in the grand scale of the game. So overall, really awesome set as always, and it's always good to see a couple new figures get that are up for consideration for getting into the competitive play, because freshening up competitive play is always fun for us. And of course, adding more figures to our collections is great for casual play as well. So thank you again, WizKids, for providing us with the product. Earth X is looking like a great set. So see you guys at the pre-releases, and see you guys in February at the release.